I want to redo this. Let's just start over. I want to redo the draft. I wanted Pistol Pete from the SEC. That's what I wanted. I don't know why God, I've messed this up. On today's episode of Titus and Tate, we will be talking to two-time national champion, Mikal Bridges, formerly of the Villanova Wildcats, currently of the Phoenix Suns. He stopped by. We asked him the important questions such as, are you better than Jalen Brunson? And did Jalen Brunson deserve to win National Player of the Year over you? And who does Coach Wright think was better, you or Jalen Brunson? You know, the most important questions in the world.
Yeah, and also, why did you not want to stay with the 76ers? Did you not want to stay in Philly forever? Let's talk about Phoenix. Is Phoenix fun? Yeah, a lot of that we get into with Mikal Bridges, and then also on the show, we have a special surprise at the end. We won't announce at the top of the show, but we're very excited about a special.
Hopefully, we're gonna try it. We're gonna see if it works. But Tate and I have a plan to.
Yes, we always have a plan. We don't know if it's gonna work, but we're hoping that this is a preamble to good things.
Yeah.
And we also have to do another top 5 list because the people on the internet, Mark Titus, they love these top 5 lists. I mean,
do they?
Oh, they love it. This is what they want. They want more lists in their face. They want to agree with those lists, unequivocally so. So it's been fun.
They need the people on the internet love the low effort memes, the picture where you're like, here's a picture of like 12 things, or you do like, here's a picture of 4 things and 3 gotta go, or that whole move, the 3 gotta go move, the sit one, start one, cut one, all that, the low effort stuff. We should make some of those. Get the engagements up. Get the
Who would have thought $15 budgets would end up
$15 budget
ruining the internet? Yeah, exactly. Who would have thought? But yeah, that's 15, where we are.
I love that. I at least love that the internet seems to have moved on from drinking games, because that was a pet peeve of mine. The era of like, ooh, fun drinking game. Every time this or this happens, that drinking games drive me nuts. I hate drinking games. My drinking game is always, if you want to take a drink, take a drink. If you don't. It's so I don't know. I've never once been at a party where someone's been like, let's play this drinking game, and then more than 5 minutes in, everyone is still playing it. Like, everyone's just like, no, this is stupid. I'm just gonna get shit faced on my own. I don't need rules to tell me how to get shit faced.
There's a time and place, and also you get past that point, and you're like, if you're still like fiending for games to get there, you're like, all right, buddy, just
this is enough.
Drink the beer.
We are doing, as you said, a top 5 list. We're going to draft fantasy teams based on this premise that I thought of there are 6 power conferences, right, Tate? And
yes.
We could do a starting 5 and a coach where you can only pick one guy from each conference. And the math checks out, because that would be 6 people you're drafting with the 6 power conferences. There would be one from each. Yep, checks out. All right, it is Thursday afternoon, 4 weeks, almost exactly 4 weeks, almost to the minute of the start of quarantine. Chris Mack is on day 8 of his self-quarantine, but the rest of us
right now. Yes.
You showed me that. You sent me the tweet that Chris Mack, it was yesterday, right? He tweeted like day 7 of self-isolation. What the hell?
The rest it was like a whole thing of steaks, you know what I mean? And it was just like day 7 of quarantine, and that was one of those times where it was a flex to show, like, look at this grilled meat that I'm cooking up, stun on these people. And then the second part of that was like, day 7, like it's like, maybe just keep that to yourself. Just feel like I'm in this, because our quarantine, like you said, it started on Friday the 13th, my birthday, March 13th. So it's been 4 weeks. All the way. That was bad luck on Friday the 13th for the world.
4 weeks ago, the Big East was still playing as everyone else was like, I don't know about this. And then all eyes were on Big East. Big East was bringing back the old Big East mentality of just tough it out, be a tough guy. Then someone finally got in their ear and was like, yeah, this is not a great idea. We should probably call these games. So yeah, it's been weird. A weird 4 weeks. It feels like much longer. It feels like 4 years. We have transitioned into the mustache phase of the quarantine for me. I'm now rocking a mustache. I have no idea why. I just kind of did it. I just instinctively shaved off my beard and have a mustache, and I have no explanation whatsoever. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't think it looks good. It just kind of happened. And that's where we're at. That's where we've arrived with this quarantine. Is my brain has just melted into putty, and I am just operating on instinct at this point. So, yeah. How are you doing, Tate?
I'm doing great. I will say this. I mean, I think it's one of those times where if you don't have a dog in your life, you know what I mean, and you're just at home by yourself, like maybe get an animal. Like I'm sure Moses is there, and Moses probably likes the mustache, and he's like, "Look at this, like Dad switching it up on us. Like, I like the move." But if you were by yourself at home, like without Moses, and you just started shaving your faces different, like I would have to say
it's a cry for help. All right, we got to talk about this ultimate fan bracket thing, because the results just ended, Tate, of the first round. We have some upsets. Lehigh beat Duke. I don't know why.
Wow.
I don't know I don't know why I'm even slightly surprised. I guess I never thought Duke was going to win, because I knew at some point the haters were going to outnumber the Duke lovers. But to do it right out of the gate is hilarious. Also hilarious, UMBC beats Virginia. Which I guess we should have seen coming. I don't know. I maybe Virginia fans are just like over the whole thing. They're just like, we don't care. We're not voting on that stupid thing. Or maybe it is a case of like everyone just trolled the hell out of the thing. That's pretty funny. Dayton beat Iowa. I found that surprising. I had Iowa in my Final Four. I thought for sure Iowa fans would get fired up, especially like I think we're done completely with the National Player of the Year awards, right? And
yes.
And Obi Toppin won all of them. But
he was 5 for 6. Yes.
Yeah, 5 for 6. Yeah, which is a typical Obi Toppin percentage there, going 5 for 6 from the field. I thought Iowa fans would show out. They kind of did. It was a close race, but Dayton won that one. And then the other two I wrote down: Florida State beats Memphis, which was shocking to me. What the hell is Chris Vernon doing down there? I blame him.
Nothing, obviously.
And Murray State beat Arizona, which has our boy Wildbags in a tizzy. He is not happy about these results.
That's what I was going to say. The thing that I learned about the first round from the Ultimate Fan Bracket is, one, like you said, the trolls are able to make their voices heard, very early with Lehigh. And even though I think Lehigh, pushed this out more than Duke did, Duke, like we talked about, they did what we thought could be possible. They were above this. They thought that this was too beneath them for whatever reason. So they just took their ball and went home. No one likes that. That's a sore loser. So they get the upset. They deserve it. UMBC, they thrive on Twitter. So I feel like that's an unfair battle for UVA fans who have probably gotten rid of Twitter after the UMBC game. They're like, I'm over this. I've seen enough hate in my life. I love Tony Bennett. I'm done. Like, throw this away. So I can sort of understand that loss. I think Florida State, they're fired up. I mean, they won the national championship. They won the ACC tournament. They won the ACC regular season. They're 3 for 3. They're trying to go 4 for 4.
They won the national championship. That's great. Yeah.
I mean, so of course they're going to show out, and I expected them to upset the Memphis Tigers. Even though Penny came out and did a great video to talk about the great Tigers fans, I hated that. I
wanted to see the Calipari showdown, the Memphis. No disrespect to Florida State, as you said. I love you speaking into existence all the trophies that Florida State won.
3 for 3.
Yeah, that's fantastic. do we have an update? By the way, do you have a national title update of simulations? Because there were a lot of simulations that took place this week since we last recorded, because a lot of these simulations were going on the NCAA tournament schedule, which would have had the title game be Monday night. We recorded on Monday our last show, so then I guess there were a lot of people pumping out their results on Monday night saying this is who our simulation had winning it all. Are there any that you would like to update the people? Because I have a few on my list if you don't.
We have one submission from a fan, Gabe. I do not know his last name, but he did crunch the numbers. He ran the numbers, and he says after all the numbers were crunched, Kansas, the Jayhawks, the number 1 team in the country, would have won the national championship based on all the metrics that he put into his possible algorithm. I don't really know, because I didn't really look into it.
It's Gabe Pomeroy. It's Ken Pomeroy's son. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yes, he's right. So that's all I have. Kansas Jayhawks yet again getting another vote. But did you see something?
I had, because you've been doing the same sort of thing that happened with the Pac-12 update is happening with this, where it's like your corner, but then my friends that listen to our show will text me about it, and then I now have to update it. Yeah, I now have all the information, because
see, my friends, they don't listen to the show. They have no idea. They're just mad at me for recording right now. They're just like, turn it down.
There's apparently a 538 simulation that
I did see this,
declared Michigan State the champion. So congratulations, Spartans. You are national champions. Sportsline, whatever the hell that is, I think, is that affiliated with CBS? Is that the CBS Sportsline? Wasn't that a thing? Or is this? I don't know.
Sportsline was. We talked about it. Whatever time I did the first one, they had their prediction, and it wasn't their prediction Kansas. What was Sportsline?
Well, Sportsline went to Dayton. Yeah.
Dayton. That's right. That was
we already talked about it.
Yeah. No, we just talked about Sportsline, but we also were like, are we sure Sportsline exists? Because they picked Dayton. We're like I just said Sportsline says Dayton. You're like, I'm not sure about Sportsline. So again, the jury is still out on Sportsline. So they have Dayton. Okay, who else?
Yeah, this one is from packpride.com. It says NC State is I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I made that one up.
They did it.
Someone, apparently there's like a Twitter thing going on where people, like some Twitter account, which is where we've arrived with all this, is like, I don't even know the Twitter account. I don't know who the hell's running the Twitter account. One of my buddies sent me a link to a Twitter account and said Louisville won something on Twitter. But then someone else, another friend of mine, sent me something that said Michigan State won another Twitter simulation where they beat Arizona State in the title game. So I don't know. Pick which one of those four sound the best to you, and let's roll with that. And that's your update there, your national title update of our theoretical champion.
Honestly, in a world where we almost have to envision anything that is reality to kind of stimulate your mind, the thought of Bobby Hurley going against Tom Izzo in a national championship game, especially Mr. March going against Mr. December in April, that's something I would watch.
Mr. March versus Mr. December in April. That's fantastic. We should do that. Matchup has me thinking we should do like a best coaches under 6 feet tall list. That should be one of our starting five lists that we do. One of these
starting five under 6. Yeah, starting 5 under 6. Put that out. Put that out. The best
short coaches in college basketball. You have Mick Cronin, Eric Musselman. Yeah. Bobby Hurley, Dan Hurley. Yeah,
Roy Williams.
I guess that's probably Roy is short. Yeah. Who else? Yeah. I guess they're all kind of short, right? Isn't that the point? Yeah.
I think like 5'8" is not short though. Like 5'8", 5'9" is not short. That's tall.
That's considered tall to you. Wow.
I think in coach speak.
You just made a lot of listeners very happy. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, look, it's fine.
All right. That's all right. There's your national title update. Anyway, the Fox Ultimate Fan Bracket, it is still going on. The second round just started today. Today being Thursday, as I said, I don't know. I always timestamp the pods just because people are listening at weird times, and I don't know. It gives you an idea of
where we are,
where we're at, where our mind's at. So the second round has started. Some matchups of note include Gonzaga, Syracuse. That's interesting. Ohio State, Notre Dame, a 7-2 matchup. Yeah. Ohio State came from behind against Louisville, second half team. I knew we were. The one I have circled is Indiana, UCLA. I think the winner of this gets to declare themselves a blue blood. The loser, it's a loser leaves town match, Tate. The loser, your blue blood status is revoked. You have to win another national title to get it back. That's my declaration here.
I will say this. A lot of people were pointing to the fact that Indiana was a 1 seed, and they were like, how is Indiana a 1 seed? And I think the Indiana fans took offense to that. Like we said, you have to almost rally the troops, and they're voting hard, and they're voting fast. And I think the UCLA fans, they weren't expecting this. Like, they're enjoying the Mick Cronin wave. They're having a good time. They're obviously they're flattening the curve out here in LA. So I don't know.
It's been raining.
Indiana fans are voting.
It's been raining a little bit the last few days in LA, so I don't know how that's going to affect the vote for this, like whether the LA people are going to be home now instead of
let's hope they're
UCLA fans. So anyway, Indiana UCLA is a matchup. We have UMBC Maryland. I find that one fascinating. The two Maryland schools. Can the UMBC run continue, or do people just care because they were playing Virginia? And then the big one, Tate, North Carolina versus NC State is happening in the second round. Your thoughts?
I will say this. I already looked at the what's going on so far with the vote, and North Carolina's doing well. And I will say this: NC State is not a second half team. In fact, they are the opposite of a second half university. So I think that they are a first half team, first half university. And I thought they would come out hot. I don't know if the bracket's gotten to NC State fans. I think after this, they will probably get the bracket. They will probably start voting. But right now, North Carolina's looking pretty good in that matchup.
There you go.
And I think the real upset that's going to come is Murray State. Murray State, I don't know what's going on there, but like you said, Wild Bags is upset. Arizona's already out of this. Duke's already out of this. So those are two big programs, two blue bloods, you could say, that are out of the program.
I'm worried about Arizona
right now. Yeah, I'm worried about at large. I'm worried about Arizona overall. Yes,
just the whole scene in Arizona right now is just. It's not a good time.
We need a big cat. We need big cat rescue. We need to rescue the Wildcats.
Can we Carol Baskins?
Come on, let's fix.
Is it Carol? It's Carol Baskin, right? Not Baskins.
No, it's Baskin, like Baskin Robbins.
Because Joe Exotic calls her Baskins, right? he makes her plural. I don't know. Yeah, we need her to save Arizona because the bad PR just all around for Arizona right now. Losing to Murray State in this, the Sean Miller tapes.
It's too reminiscent to the Buffalo season and the HBO stuff, Christian Dawkins. And also I want to put on the opposite side of the coin. That's bad PR, good PR. BYU, a team that was a play-in school.
They're a big cat. Cougars.
They're a big cat, and they're doing great, and
fantastic.
They're making some noise. And honestly, we shouldn't have doubted BYU. I in my bracket, I doubted BYU, and if I was Michigan State, I'd be a little worried. That's a tough matchup. That's a bad matchup.
Well, there you go. At CBB on Fox, go vote on the second round. Again, Tate, I feel like this is something that most people listening to this are just kind of like, whatever, like lukewarm interest. But as this thing progresses in your school, your school not being North Carolina, and I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the listeners now.
The audience.
As your school continues to progress, I have a feeling people are going to take this very, very seriously once the Elite Eight hits, and they're like, okay, now we have to win this. That's my prediction. So, but I also predicted Iowa to go to the Final Four, and they lost in the first round. So who the hell knows? Go vote at CVB on Fox. The voting for the second round lasts until Monday, I believe. That's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Lasts until Monday. All right, let's get into it, Tate. Let's do this. I texted you today. I had this idea. We were doing a starting five all-time basketball players, college basketball players, starting five plus a head coach, and you can only pick one guy from each conference. So if, for example, you take Magic Johnson as your point guard, you cannot then take Bob Knight as your coach because that would be two Big Ten guys. So you have to figure out where you want to use your Pac-12 pick. And then the other caveat I want to say, Tate, I want to relay this ground rule. We're following the ACC's lead where they included Syracuse in the ACC, and we are saying this is current schools that they play at. So, Syracuse is the best example. The Syracuse is ACC. I know that's kind of stupid, but the reason I think we should do that is because it's easier to track instead of like trying to figure out like what conference was UConn in that one
during that period of time. Yeah.
Was Kimba in the American or was he in the old Big East? He was the old Big East, right? But was he? But then Shabazz was the American. Yeah, we're just like, you know what, the hell with it all. Whatever conference you're in now, which actually UConn. Funny enough, I picked UConn. Is UConn Big East? They're Big East now, right?
They're Big East. Yes.
So exactly. UConn's technically Big East. Okay, cool. So those are the ground rules. What?
Yeah, and should we list out what these schools are? The Power Six conferences, like what are the Power Six in our mind?
Because there's like A10 fans that are like, hell yeah, I love this.
Yeah, they're like, bang, I can't wait for that. VCU guys are in there.
Pac-12 fans are crossing their fingers like, God, I hope we're one of the six.
yes, every single time. Man, I was just thinking about all the guys that could be in there from VCU or Richmond or whatever. But anyways, ACC, Big East, SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12. Big 12. There it is. Yeah,
that's it. I think the Power Six. Thoughts and prayers to the American. You've been demoted, even though you won a national title your first year. I don't know.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. You know how it works. All right. So this, you want to go first? You want to get the first pick? Are we snaking it? Are we going back and forth? How do you want to do it?
I think we should just go back and forth, and then as we make our pick, we should check off the box of the conference that we have here, right?
Okay, yeah. So we'll go back and forth. I'll give you the advantage here. I'll let you go first. Go ahead, make your pick. You can pick coach. You can pick any player. Do whatever you want.
Okay, first pick for me is a guy who ended up going number 1 in the draft, and some people say it may have been rigged because he was going back to his home state of New York, and that is the leader in blocks all time at Georgetown, the Hoyas, Patrick Ewing. I remember the 1982 title game, him blocking all the shots to start the game, set the tone. And Patrick Ewing is a natural talent. I like him at center. I like him being the anchor for this team, for this all-time Power 5 starting five. And that's my number 1 pick, Pat Ewing.
So you're okay. All right. You're taking Patrick.
So
Patrick
Ewing,
the player, not the coach.
No, the player, and check the box of old Big East.
So the Big East is down. Let me see how I'm going to do this. That changes my strategy. You took a center at number 1. So okay. I have to take God damn, there's so many good college basketball players. That's what we're learning. I was going to make a center my number 1 pick, but I don't think I need to now.
I like how old school basketball we are. We're both like, all right, let's get a big man in there. Let's set the tone for our team.
I had centers as on my big board at number 1. All right. So Big East is, Also, yeah, I don't have to worry about you taking any Big East guy. Oh God, this is an interesting thing. Okay, I'm gonna take my number one pick. Has to be. Okay, so I'm gonna take him at shooting guard. I think. So I'm gonna do Anthony Davis at power forward.
Wow.
I'm putting Anthony Davis as my power forward. That's my SEC pick. I feel like the SEC, the SEC is really good actually. The SEC has a lot of good players, but Anthony Davis, most dominant one and done season of all time. A lot of love for Zion recently. Maybe not the flashiest in terms of his stats, but he won everything there was to win. As more time passes though, one of my favorite college basketball trivia things, Tate. Anthony Davis lost 2 college basketball games. Do you know the head coaches of those 2 games?
I do not. Please.
As more time passes, it becomes funnier and funnier. The 2 head coaches he lost to were Tom Crean and Kevin Stallings.
Yeah, so it was the Wofford shot. I do. Yeah, Tom Crean. Okay.
And then he lost to they lost to Vanderbilt in the SEC tournament. Those are the 2 teams that Anthony Davis lost to.
And he should have lost John Henson, against Roy Williams. So it should have been 3. We all remember that. All right. Now my number 2 pick, it's going to be in the ACC. All right. So we have on our board right now. We both taking big guys. So Anthony Davis, 9 blocks in the title game. Like you said, probably the best one and done because he got the title. And then we got Pat Ewing on the board. My number 2 pick, I'm going to stay on the block. I'm going to stay down low. In my opinion, one of the best, probably the best North Carolina player of all time. And that is from the ACC, James Worthy. From the 1982 title team. And that is my 4-5 combo down on the block. We got Worthy, we got Ewing. For everything that, Pat Ewing couldn't do in the NBA as far as getting over the hump, you got James Worthy, you got a finals MVP, and you got a guy that's a leader also. So if he wants to defer, he can defer to another big guy, and James Worthy will set the tone. And like I said, one of the best players in prime time of all time, big game James. Those are my 2 guys.
So you got James Worthy at power forward.
Yes.
Okay.
And Pat Ewing at center. So Big East ACC, check him off.
Oh, dude, Anthony Davis is putting the clamps on James Worthy. No doubt in my mind.
My gosh.
No doubt in my mind.
The disrespect.
I like where this is going. Okay. Shit. Oh, that's good. I gotta get okay. Because I don't think there's a ton of talent in this conference. So I'm trying to get the value pick here. I'm going with my second pick out of the Big 12. I'm going at small forward, Kevin Durant.
Wow.
And I don't mean for this to be a one and done thing. I really have a strategy here because but I think, yeah, I got to go Kevin Durant at small forward. I just think that Durant is so much better than basically. He's not the best Big 12 player ever, but like I need him on my team, so I'm going Kevin Durant at small forward here. But I think I'm going to end up just doing like a whole one and done team. I don't want to, but Durant was. It's hard to get around like losing in the second round to USC. I think as more time goes by, you want to talk about like revisiting legacies. That's a tough one. DJ Augustine and Kevin Durant losing in the second round to. It wasn't even like that good of a USC team, right? No. I forget. Was it Taj Gibson? Was he the best player on that team? Was Nick Young on the team? I don't remember.
Nick Young was on the team. Nick Young outplayed Kevin Durant in that game.
Yeah,
that was the Nick Young moment. This is prior to Swaggy P. Yeah. So, but I will say this: Kevin Durant was my Big 12 pick. So I like that we're doing the snake draft.
So we got
Kevin Durant off my board. Yes.
So we got some adjustments to go here. All right, we'll go ahead. You got your big guys down.
Got my big guys down. I'm gonna go to small forward, and this is so I'm trying to make a lineup that is basically has 2 bigs, and then everyone else can shoot threes around this lineup. And speaking of that, the best player in Big Ten history, in my opinion, Glenn Rice.
That hurts.
Of the Michigan Wolverines. And Glenn Rice, for people that don't know, I think he ended up shooting 40% career 3-point percentage in the NBA. The year that they won the title in 1989, he shot 47% from 3. He's obviously, all the records you can talk about Glenn Rice, the points in the tournament. I think he's first all time. I know he's first all time. Big shots. And I could just see him being the perfect 3 for this team, spread the floor and hit big shots. So Glenn Rice.
I had him circled. I was thinking about throwing him at shooting guard. That's a great pick. He also was snubbed from our list we did with Hummel, best all-time runs. Scored the most points in NCAA tournament history in one single NCAA tournament. Yeah, very, very. That's a good pick, Tate. Congratulations on that one. Okay,
way to go, Glenn Rice.
That's your Big Ten pick. So I need. Okay. who could you take from me? All right. I got shooting guard. I need to figure out shooting guard. Do I want to go? Okay, I'm gonna lock in at shooting guard because I gotta lock in my my Big East pick here. I'm gonna lock in. Okay, what do I want to do? God, this is so hard. I had an obvious plan, and now
say it, Jeremy Lamb. Say it, shooting guard, Jeremy Lamb.
Okay, Jeremy Lamb. Okay, where's my coach coming from, dude? This is harder than I thought it would be. I'm going. It has to be done. I'm going Big East. Big East player, shooting guard, Dwayne Wade.
Wow. Marquette, big for Marquette. I thought you could go with Ray Allen right there. That's what. Here's what
my new strategy is. I'm picking all like new age guys because when they tweet the graphic out, it's just going to be a bunch of like 17-year-olds that are tweeting, and they're just going to be like, "Damn, Titus killed this one," because it's all people they've heard of. And when you're getting Glenn Rice and James Worthy on your list, it's going to be like, "What the hell is Tate smoking?" And I think that's what I'm pandering to the younger crowd here. I think.
And I'm a part of the younger crowd, so I don't need to pander to them. I'm pandering to the older crowd. Like, if I want the QVC crowd, I want the Golf Channel crowd. Like, I want those guys to look at my list and say, "Oh my God, I remember Glenn Rice. What a run! What a run for that '89 Michigan team. What's Steve Fisher up to? Love Coach Fisher. Sending an email from an AOL account, all that sort of stuff. That's what I want." All right, so there we go. We got our teams rolling. This has been fun. I'm glad that we actually had the right idea.
Yeah, this is weird. What's getting in my head is like, do I care about what you're doing, or should I play? Do I play defense or offense? You know what I mean? Because that was kind of a stupid thing for me to take a Big East guy when you've already used your Big East pick. Like Dwayne Wade was going to be on the board, but I don't know. I just had him staring at me in the face, and I wanted to make sure I did that anyway. Go ahead.
Wait, you got your shooting guard Dwayne Wade, and you actually had me a little worried because you were going around the map there. And I'm going to go west, and I'm going to go to the Pac-12, and I'm going to go to a shooting guard that led the UCLA Bruins to the 1985 NIT championship. A man that isn't afraid to talk junk, a man that is also a great three-point shooter. And once they gave him the three-point line his last year at UCLA, he was a star. The 11th pick to the Indiana Pacers. You know him, number 31, Reggie Miller at shooting guard on my team. I got Glenn Rice. I got Reggie Miller. I got two guys on the block, and we're just kicking the ball out. We're hitting threes, and we're spreading the floor.
That's a great team. Yeah. I don't like Dwayne Wade as my shooting guard anymore. I need more shooting. Like Dwayne Wade. Well, I mean,
you got slashers. Yeah.
Can I change Dwayne Wade to Steve Alford?
change to Ray Allen. Pander
Ray Allen would be a good pick.
There you go.
No, I got to stick with Dwayne Wade. Was nasty. He's still good.
Can you get Novak? Can you get Steve Novak as a plus?
I want to redo this. Let's just start over. I want to redo the draft. I wanted Pistol Pete from the SEC. That's what I wanted. I don't know why God damn it. I've messed this up. All right. Screw it. Crap. Okay. I'm going. So what do you have left? Maybe I can mess you up.
So I got Glenn Rice, Reggie Miller, Patrick Ewing, James Worthy. So I got ACC, Big East, Big 10, Pac-12.
You need Big 12, and you need
SEC.
What else do you need? SEC, which I've already taken both of those, so it doesn't. At this point, it doesn't matter.
Who'd you take in the SEC?
I took Anthony Davis.
Oh, that's
I got
right.
Anthony Davis and Durant. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So I'm taking the guy who should have been number one in this whole draft. Kareem. I'm taking Kareem at center. I'm just getting it out of the way. Kareem, aka originally known as Lou Alcindor. Sorry, I'm writing all this down because I'm an idiot and I'll forget. Kareem, the best college basketball player of all time, most dominant college basketball player of all time. Enough said. Kareem is the obvious pick at center. He is going to eat Patrick Ewing's lunch. He's going to be fantastic.
I love that you're flopping back to going after the old heads. You're like, you know what? You're like, give me the old people too. Throw Kareem on the list.
This is like I don't know how entertaining this is to listen to, but this is so entertaining in my own brain that like my brain. I haven't thought this much and worked this hard in a very long time. In 4 weeks, as it turns out. In the entire quarantine, my brain has not had this much activity. God, this is harder than I thought it would be.
That's why we're doing the podcast. All right, so there you go. You got Kareem. All right, so can we just like, what are your four? Who are your four right now?
Okay, to recap, neither one of us have point guards or coaches.
Yes.
You have Reggie Miller at shooting guard. I have Dwayne Wade. Yes. You have Glenn Rice at small forward. I have Kevin Durant.
Yes.
You have James Worthy at power forward. I have Anthony Davis, and you have Patrick Ewing at center, and I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Those are great teams.
That's great. That's a great team.
These are great teams. All right, so my final pick, I'm going to go to the SEC. You already mentioned him before, and that is Pistol Pete Maravich, a man that made the most free throws in
I like
a game.
your team better than mine.
30 of 31 free throws, Pistol Pete. And honestly, so here was what my plan was. My real original plan for this was to take Press Maravich in the SEC, which means that I would get Press, which is Pistol was obviously going to come with his dad. Right. Then I was going to get Press. Then I was going to get Pistol, and that was going to be my +1. But I obviously had to change. So I'm going to say Pistol Pete, my point guard, the leader of the team, a man that averaged, I think, 44 points per game, which is an NCAA record, obviously. I think he did that in 1969. What a legend. Shout out to Pistol Pete. Yeah, that's my point guard. That's my
you have a great old head team. The old people are going to love your team. Yeah, I wanted Pete. I think I messed up. I think I wanted at shooting guard. I wanted David Thompson at shooting guard as well. Ooh. I wanted my backcourt to be Pete Maravich and David Thompson, but then I started fleshing out like, God, dude, this was tough. Okay,
you took Durant.
Should we do this draft every show until the quarantine hits? We just redraft another team next show. I know Durant was the one that like messed me up because I was looking at the Big 12 crop and I saw Wilt Chamberlain, and then after Wilt, it was Durant, and like basically like my big board for Big 12 is Wilt Chamberlain, Kevin Durant, Michael
Blake Griffin,
Trae Young, Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's Wilt, Durant, and then the rest kind of like Beasley was great, Blake Griffin was great, obviously. Trae, like all these guys were great, but like Durant is on another level. And I knew I was going to take Kareem, so I didn't want Wilt. Shit, dude, I'm an idiot. Okay, my point guard, I'm taking out of the ACC. It is, in my opinion, the best point guard of the last 50 years, we'll say. Certainly of my lifetime, the best college basketball point guard. His name is Jason Williams. He currently goes by J. Will. He was unbelievable. I think the people that don't know the story like kind of scratch your head and wonder why his NBA career didn't pan out. The people who knows because of the motorcycle thing. And if you watched him in college, I should ask Mikal Bridges about this. I think it's J. Will and Mikal Bridges are the two guys that are the perfect examples of like I feel like they were the better player on the team, even though their teammate was National Player of the Year. Because Shane Battier won National Player of the Year. Did J. Will actually win National Player of the Year? No,
the next year.
Yeah, the next year. Yeah, the next year after. Yeah. That's right, because he won National Player of the Year, but Juan Dixon won ACC Player of the Year that year in 2002. I think Jay Will is for my money, as I said a million times, I think he's the best point. You can make an argument that he's the best point guard in college basketball history. Pistol Pete fans would argue against that, but he's certainly one of the top 3 or 4, and he's the best that I've ever seen in my life. So I'm happy with that pick out of the ACC.
Jason. I like that top 5. Yeah, Jason Williams deserves. I feel like we're one of the few podcasts that give Jason Williams.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we give him a lot of credit because a lot of people like to throw shade on those years, but he was unbelievable. As you pointed out, all right, my last and final pick, the Big 12. I need a head coach. I need a leader of men. I need someone that can look Reggie Miller in the eyes and say, "You don't know shit about basketball."
Doug Gottlieb.
Oh,
is it Doug Gottlieb of Oklahoma State, Tate? Did you do it?
No, I would. If only I had the bravado to do such a thing, and to put Pistol Pete through that. I want to put Pistol Pete through something worse, and that is being coached by Larry Brown, and not just any Larry Brown. I want Big 12 Kansas Larry Brown, and that's why my Big 12 coach and my final pick, the man that will lead these men either into championship success or a complete breakdown, or maybe both. He's done it before with the Pistons. Larry Brown is my coach. He has always been my coach. He is pure basketball. He doesn't care about your ego. He doesn't care about your obligations. He cares about a ball going through a basket, and that's all he's ever cared about. And he's a blue blood coach for a blue blood team. And Larry Brown, that's my pick.
There you go. That's a great pick. I think Larry Brown is a great coach for your team. Very old school. Yeah, I like your team. I like your team a lot. This is a disaster. I didn't even think about the fit because I want to. I mean, like obviously, I have the Big Ten left. Obviously, I want to go Bob Knight.
Okay.
Now that I'm looking at my roster, like Bob Knight with Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant, and Dwayne Wade. Like Kareem would love Knight. Even Kareem, Kareem wouldn't love Knight. Kareem played for John Wooden. They're the exact opposite. Kareem would hate Knight. Yes. I think Jay Will would like Knight. I think they would get along. I think Kay and Knight are
yeah. He's kind of the Bobby Hurley claw, so he would love
dude. Oh no.
Do it, Gene Katie. Do it, Gene Katie.
So that means like I gotta go Izzo, right? Like Izzo would be the guy for this team, right? But boy, I'm gonna get roasted if I go Izzo overnight. But
if you're trying to appease the kids, I think you go Izzo. If you're trying to appease,
I'm not trying to appease the kids. I literally think like so. Obviously, Bob Knight's the better coach. Bob Knight. If I'm not, is that not obvious to you? It's obvious that he's the better coach. Knight. If we're really playing a game where your 5 are playing my 5 and the coaches are coaching, my 5 are going to turn on the coach immediately. Like there's going to be a fight in a timeout, or like Kevin Durant's just going to shut down. He's just going to be like, I'm ready for the league. Get me the hell out of here. I think Anthony Davis is going to do the same. Like he's going to still be great, but I don't think he's going to. Bob Knight is not the answer. It's got to be Izzo. I'm committing to it. I'm just going to Izzo.
Okay.
Respect to Bob Knight. I'm going to get killed because everyone misread what the whole point of the exercise is and think that I'm saying Tom Izzo is the best coach ever. But I botched that. I botched that big time.
How crazy is it that neither one of us has Coach K or Roy Williams or Dean Smith or Jim Valvano or anything like that?
Roy's the big one because you could have taken Kansas Roy. You could have taken Big 12 Roy. I'm surprised you didn't do that. That's where I thought you were going.
No, let me just say this: my team, we're gonna have a lot of attitude, and I need someone to nix the attitude. Like, and I need a point person, which is James Worthy, and then I need someone to nix the rest of the attitude, which is Coach Brown.
I went just dump a ton of talent out there and hope for the best. But then my coach was like the best example of like, screw your talent. I'm not here to coach talent. I'm here for you to fit my mold, which I really messed that up. But Tom Izzo saved the day. I think Tom Izzo's a good pick. Tom Izzo would know how to coach those guys. I think we got a good squad. This was a fun exercise, Tate. I can't believe I don't know. I can't believe none of us took I don't know, like Magic Johnson. I thought he was going to be a hot commodity out of the Big Ten.
But it's funny because, well, you did it like I did it, which was like I was going by position. So I had to go through like the ACC. For me, it was like, do I want Ralph Sampson to be my center, or do I want James Worthy to be my power forward? Well, if James Worthy's my power forward, then my center is going to be Pat Ewing. You know, it's like all little puzzle pieces.
I mean, you could with the guys you didn't pick, you could have Magic at point guard, Jordan at shooting guard, Wilt at center. My God.
Which Danny Manning at power forward. Yeah, I mean,
Battier at small forward or something like that. And that's nasty.
It's a pretty nasty team. Yeah, they would probably beat a lot of people if push come to shove. Yeah,
I think, and then like John Wooden as your coach. That's a pretty good team. That's a pretty good team.
Yeah, this is good.
Can I redo my? Okay, I got to do my new team. John Wooden as coach. Magic at point guard, Jordan at shooting guard, Battier at small forward, Blake Griffin at power forward, and Wilt Chamberlain. No, Blake can't be Blake in. This is stupid. What a dumb exercise. But no, that was fun. Tweet at Tate. I'm off Twitter for the time being, but tweet at Tate what you think the best team you could actually form here is, because it's harder than you think. It really is, because you got to take all the conferences into account and players, and don't give me the bullshit. Like, we should have said this at the top. We're playing guys at positions. This isn't positionless basketball. We're staying true to form. We're not just throwing like.
I'm not gonna pick the best 5 players that are all centers and be like, I want Bill Russell, Kareem, Will. Yeah, that's not.
Or
that's not
the opposite of just like, I want Magic and Jay Will and and
every great guard.
Just throw a bunch of guards out there. Yeah,
Jerry Lucas.
Yeah.
Those are some names that I wanted to throw out, just to see how ridiculous.
You just go complete old school. You're like, out of the Big East. Out of the Big East, I got George Mikan from DePaul. Great center. A lot of George Mikan slander on the podcast as of late. All right, that's fun. So to recap, point guard for you, Pistol Pete up against Jay Will for me. Shooting guard for you is Reggie Miller. I had Dwayne Wade. Small forward for you is Glenn Rice. I had Kevin Durant. Power forward for you is James Worthy. I had Anthony Davis. Center is Patrick Ewing. I had Kareem. And your coach is Larry Brown. My coach is Tom Izzo. Fun time, State. That was good.
If we could get a video game, like 2 people that are actually like really skilled to like put that in, like to create those players, play that game out, I would like to see that.
Yeah, simulate that for us. All you guys running the simulations. Get 538 to do something there, or Pomeroy, or somebody simulate that for us. All right. Enough about us. Enough about this nonsense. Let's talk to Mikal Bridges, Tate. How does that sound?
That sounds great. A 2-time national champion.
This is our interview with the great Mikal Bridges. All right, joining us now is a 2-time national champion. He is a man who was the best player on the 2018 national champion Villanova Wildcats. And I want to start there, Mikal. We had Jalen Brunson on the show. How long ago was that, Tate? Like maybe a year ago?
Yeah, maybe. Let's say like 10, 12 months, something like that.
And I confronted him straight out. For a little backstory, Mikal, Tate and I were very much on the train that you were the best player on the team in 2018. And Jalen getting all the awards was only because he was the point guard. And we asked him straight up, we were like, who was the better player? He kind of cowardly was doing the point guard thing where he's like, Mikal was really good, all that kind of stuff. Will you please just say like you were better than him? That's all I've ever wanted is someone within that team to be like, yo, everyone got it wrong. Mikal was actually the best player on the team.
No. Jalen he won player of the year. You can't argue that. You can't argue that. You can't say the other person's better if he won all those awards. Like he swept though. Like he swept the awards. So like only thing I give over him is the Big East tourney MVP. So I could just I could brag that. But
yeah,
then he
got
my trophy. Then he's gonna come up with this big behind Naismith trophy, and I'm like, you got it then. So.
Man, this is a safe space, man. You can say anything you want. We'll back you up, dude. I fell in love with you when your dunk against Gonzaga. Can you just like do you remember doing? I'm Chris Farley show. Like, hey, do you remember how cool that was? It was one of those dunks. Like, I remember where I was when it happened. What was that like? To just dunk all over Gonzaga? Do you feel like that was like your announcement? You were on the team in 2016. Obviously, a lot of people knew you, but like you blew up in 2018, and that was early in the season. I remember you just like absolutely destroyed Gonzaga, and then you dunked on their entire team. And then that was kind of like the moment where it was like, oh, this dude is like one of the best players in the country for real.
I think that's maybe for the world, I guess, maybe. Because like we don't play on ESPN. We were on Fox Sports, and like everybody like people watch Sports Center and all that stuff. So like all the teams are getting gassed up, like Kansas, Oklahoma. So you see like Devontae Graham, Trae Young, all of them, like and Duke, all of them. So they get gassed up the most. And us, like we'll be number one in the country, and they maybe because we're different, we're with Fox, so they might just show one clip of us and then like that's it. So like I just think that game was on ESPN, so like everybody was tuned in, and I had that game, so then everybody's now saying like, oh, this and that and this and that, which like I was playing really well before that. So yeah. I mean, I just didn't think too much about it. I just like it was another game for us, like another big game for us. So like you just go out there, and all our games are televised. So like it wasn't like, oh, this is an ESPN game. Like no, we play on Fox Sports every night. Like just another game for us that are really good teams. Y'all go out there and try to beat them.
I want to bring up a big argument that's going on right now, and it's between the 2016 Villanova team and the 2018 Villanova team. I went to North Carolina. I am, obviously going to say the 2016 team because they hurt my heart so much in Houston, and you were obviously at that game. But a lot of people were saying the 18 team is better. You were probably the better version of yourself, obviously, on the 18 team. Are you more biased for the 18 team than the 16 team?
It's not being biased. It's just probably facts. We just came off a Zoom call. Like I just hung up and came here. We were arguing and talking about the ratings and everything for it. So I mean, we were the best. Like we play, we were easily like, not easily, but we'll beat them just because like Josh was like the leading scorer that year, and Josh wasn't polished as he was his last year. So you're not giving Josh his senior year Julius Erving Award, Josh. Like that's not. But he was, even though it wasn't that far off, like, but when he was up top of his senior year, like he was, All-American and everything. He wasn't like that his junior year. So if you want to compare that, like if they had Josh from his senior year, then like, all right, then we put even more of the debate. But like, we just going by facts, man. We just going by stats. We going by, teams. Well, I mean, 60 teams was tough too. So it's a tough combo.
When in the 2018 season did you realize you were winning the national title? Because you guys had one of the most dominant NCAA tournament runs of all time, and it looked like you were it looked like you guys won the title, and you were almost like, all right, so who do we got next? Just like you're like waiting for it to get hard, and it never got hard. So at what point in the season was it when the clocks hit 0 against Michigan, or were you guys just like going into the tournament like, nah, we're good, we're gonna win this thing? And, or was it even before then? Was it some?
I mean, we had confidence always, but we weren't really thinking like that. I think that's just how Villanova is. We don't like think about winning that national championship. Just think about getting better. And but as a player, I think the game that solidified where we kind of knew like, all right, like if we beat them, we're good. So I think once we had that game against West Virginia, we felt like okay, they just did that to all of us, like made us press and all that. Like we after that game, we felt like we could beat anybody, like even more. Like so, I think that game right there solidified. Like all right, we beat them, and they were a tough team. My teammate now, Javon Carter. That was his last college game. So I tease him about that. And so I think that game made us. That was Sweet 16, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that game was like the game where I'm like, all right, like we beat them boys. Now let's just go out there and try and win it all.
Do you and Ty Jerome talk smack to the rest of the Suns guys? Because the Suns, your roster is loaded with guys that were like had great college careers and were playing at a lot of blue bloods and all that. And you and Ty Jerome won national titles. Do you talk smack? I could see like Devin Booker and Frank Kaminsky both like getting super upset that you guys are national champions.
I mean, Ty loves to talk his ring. But like every time Ty has a ring, I'll sit there and yawn and be like, well, that's cute. Like you got one. So I'm not talking that much because if they say something, I can look over and be like, what? And then say that. But the conversation though, like I talk to my teammates now, and like we used to talk about what teams will give us like what like tough teams like we probably lose to, and we said the two teams was Kentucky. Well, three teams actually. We said Kentucky, Frank's team, Wisconsin, and that Duke team. So all in that same year, I said them three is like, oh my gosh. And Ty, they were really good too, like their year. But I said like we were way confident like we could beat them. But like those three teams right there, like especially that Wisconsin and especially that Kentucky team, I'll give you that straight up. That Kentucky team, like
but that's got to be frustrating for Devin to know that. I mean, in his mind, he's like, our team was so much better than you guys, but you have 2 titles and I have none. That's got to be super frustrating if I'm him.
Yeah, if you want to go logistics, like that's what people are going to do. They're going to go logistics. Like, well, they want a title. But if you really are sitting there and like you really want to, if you're like you said, you put some money. If somebody puts some money on it, they ain't going to go with the logistics. Like, oh, they didn't go win a championship. They're going to put their money on who they really think going to win. So that's what they're going to say. Like, oh, Kentucky's not the best team. They didn't win a championship. Everybody know that team right there was very different. So,
man.
I was going to say they might put their money on NC State, right? That might be their pick. They might just be like, we'll go for the upset.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, low blow.
No, I'm kidding. Mikal. I have to bring that up because I have to bring up something else, which is the 2016 game and the shot and the moment, because that was an amazing moment. Chris Jenkins hits the shot. Did Chris Jenkins tell you guys he was going to go to North Carolina that summer and work out with UNC and Nate Britt all summer after hitting that shot? Because that seems like the craziest thing I've ever heard of.
I mean, they're brothers. Like,
I know they're brothers, but still, I mean, he hits the game-winning shot in the national championship game, and then he's like, "I'm going to play pickup all summer with everyone." I mean, that's
an alpha move.
They let him there, so like.
Mikal, you were the first guy off the bench. Do you get credit for that, for being a better teammate? I told Jalen this. I said part of the reason I think you're better than him is that you were a better teammate. When Chris hit the shot, you thought it was in before anyone else. You were the first one to jump off the bench and run out onto the floor. You believed in your teammate. Right? The rest of them were waiting to see it go in. You were like, no, that's it. You and Coach Wright, you were the two. You're like, bang, that's in, 100%.
Yeah, well, my assistant coach, Coach Ashley Howard, who's he's a head coach at LaSalle now, but he was too confident. Like right after we came out that timeout, and we were all locking arms like on the bench. He was too confident. Like he was like we're not like this is not the championship game. This like is not tied up. They didn't just hit that three. Like he was just like sitting there like, yeah, we about to win right here. About to win right here. Like so like straight up. And I'm like, oh, so now I'm like sitting up straight. Like okay, I got confidence as well, just like him. So right when they hand back Chris, I'm already like juiced off that energy, and I'm like setting up, getting ready to run. But I know having the most confidence in Chris though, like that's part of just knowing how good of a shooter Chris is, and confidence from our coaches and our teammates.
Is it true that you guys ran that play every single day in practice? Because that was that's become the story now, that you guys every single day would run that play.
100%. It's against, it would be against defense, and then just 5-on-0, like towards like the end of practice. But we never got that. We never got that play. We never hit that player.
Speaking of,
you go.
No, I was gonna say, so you brought up like confidence in playing at Villanova and all that stuff. Like how I'm fascinated by the jump that you made. You were always a good player, and you always, you know, I don't mean to sell your first 2 years short, but how do you explain like you going from like a guy who was just like we said before, like people, if you're really plugged in, you know who you are, but like that your last year, you were one of the best players in the country. And do you just explain it as like Josh left and you got more opportunity then, or was there something like with your mindset? Like how do you describe like how you made that jump from, I mean, when you got to Villanova, your first year, you were a 30% 3-point shooter. And by the time you left, you were shooting 6 threes a game and were hitting everything and averaging 18 a game and all that. Like, how do you describe, how do you explain how that happened?
I think probably the last game of my junior year, probably like the one of the worst games I ever played against Wisconsin. So like having that effect, and you know, like had to be better. And then just going to that summer, that spring and summer, just working, I guess, just kind of just not trying to think too much about that past season and like that last game. You know, as a player, as a person, like that's like it could be in your head, obviously. And so I just try really to get it out of my head. That's just working out and getting better. So just working out, like I said, with my coaches and other people at Nova, and just, you know, kept grinding, got invited to some camps, and then played well there, and just, you know, kept that boost. And then, like you said, when Josh left, it's just like next man up. That's how, you know, college, that's how Nova is. You're just like always the next man up, and just, you know, being ready, being prepared, and just making shots, I guess.
Making shots. You got to make shots.
You always got to make shots. We also got to mention after that, you win the national championship game. Everyone goes crazy. It's Villanova Nation. People were talking about that. Maybe you could have three-peat unless you face that Wisconsin team and have, you know, like we call a bad matchup, right? There's a chance for a three-peat there. Then you get drafted by your hometown 76ers. And at this point, do you feel like your life is a movie? Like, are they just writing a script for you? Because it seems like you're hitting all the check marks at that point in the Mikal Bridges journey. And you're 6'6" like Jordan. I mean, it's like every single thing is marking off like what you want, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're thinking like this one national championship, about to be a lottery pick, about to go back home. It's like, oh gosh, like I'm just never leaving home. Like I love it. Like, so, and I mean, you guys like throwing the pre-draft and everything. You look at what teams were projected and like where you think. So you kind of talk to friends and everything. All right, if we get drafted here, I might live here. If I get drafted here, I might live there. So you kind of picking out all that stuff. And Phoenix wasn't a team that like I talked to or anything. Worked out nothing. So like I wasn't even thinking about that. So like once I heard that, it was kind of like a like what? Like what do you mean? Like what about Phoenix? Like what about the Suns? Like what about them? Like no, they traded for you. I'm like, there's 2 Bridges, like, you know, in this draft. Are you sure? Like you got the right one? Like they're like, but like they're like, yeah. So kind of just like I said, like you gotta be honest. Like you're a human. Like I was drafted 10, but you were thinking you were gonna go home, and then you get hit with that. Like it was tough. Obviously, like people are gonna try to be like, you know, like tougher and be like, no, like I didn't care, like whatever. But I cared. I wanted to be home. And then but came out here, met everybody, met the staff, came out here in the city and just, you know, fell in love. So
yeah,
I mean, I appreciate you praying for me too. So
not only did you get traded, but like right as soon as it happened, everyone's shoving cameras in your face and they're like, Mikal, you're probably really upset, huh? How upset are you? And you're like, man, get these damn cameras. There had to have been some part of you that's like, do I got to really act right now? And like, I just want to go. I just want to go away. I just want to go take a second and process it. Yeah.
It's tough. Like Coach Wright, even he talked to me after that and just said how you handled everything was just like unbelievable. Like people, I don't think how many people have been in that situation. Like you could look up the draft. I don't know how many people have been in that situation where like you've been home your whole life and got drafted lotto to your home team and got traded before. Like, and I did the media. So like in the draft, I did the whole Philly media. Like I sat there and I see everybody in the media that I know from Nova, from high school. So like I see all these people and I know everybody. You know, I'm really geeked, and then you just get hit with the news right after. So it's just like, dang, like you really gotta take that in, and then right after that, then you got cameras in your head. Now you're trying to process things and trying to tell yourself to calm down. Then you got other people trying to force you to kind of, I don't know, like maybe try to force you to say something wrong. So I was just like at that point, you kind of just be a better.
Yeah, and you don't want Suns fans to be mad at you because like you're a little bummed out, but they're like, man, is it something does he not like us? Like what, that's just a weird situation. Speaking of being like a Philly guy, can you walk us through who is Villanova's biggest rival? Because I feel like you're gonna say it's one of these Philly schools. You guys have positioned yourself in the program now where you dominate every Philadelphia school and you dominate every Big East school to where I don't even know. I'm told from Villanova fans like I'm supposed to care about the Villanova Temple game or the Villanova St. Joe's or like Villanova is playing Xavier or like whatever, and you guys win every single time. Who in your perspective, like who was the team that you felt like was the biggest rival when you were there?
All right, we could get to start with the Philly schools just because everybody want to say, I guess maybe St. Joe's because like the Hawk, and it's like okay, you could. I never lost when I was there. My red shirt, I didn't lose. You didn't lose. So I was 4-0. So like I don't get that comparison, but I'll say like in the Big East, like there's a lot like Xavier, Butler, like those, and Seton Hall too. Like those three teams right there, especially when you go to Xavier and stuff. Like I think we probably lost. Yeah, we lost one year. I remember I was there. We lost, but like. The crowd, it's a different it's a different atmosphere. And every time we kind of go in there, we're like, top? We usually we were one in a country one time, 2 in a country. Like so they got energy for sure. So it's crazy.
So it's Xavier.
Yeah. So the answer is Xavier.
I'll say Xavier. I'll say that, I guess. I'll say that.
No, it's a weird place to be in. It's like you and Gonzaga doesn't really have a rival either. I mean, kind of St. Mary's is, but like you guys are so dominant. I mean, Kansas is that way in the Big 12, but I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird being a guy on the outside world that I don't really have any affiliation with Villanova, and I watch you guys play all the time, and I'm like, it's weird that like they don't really have a rival because you're so good that you beat everybody you play. That there's never a game where I'm like, oh, I got to tune into this one because what if Villanova loses this one? It's just, you win every game except like at Butler. At Butler is like always the one that seems to trip you guys up.
Tough. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my, you can never we lost 2 years in a row when I was a junior and a senior.
Yeah.
And then we won when I was a sophomore, but like it was like this. And when I was a freshman, I redshirted. Darren Hilliard hit a game-winning three.
Yeah.
So you gotta
I was there for that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Chipotle. I've never met a human being that eats a Chipotle more than I do. I'm obsessed. And in preparing for this interview, I came across a headline that says Mikal Bridges eats a Chipotle more than you do. And I took it as a personal attack. And I was like, there's no way that's true. But then right before we got on the air, I said, you're a Chipotle guy, huh? And you said, I just ate there. And I was like, man.
I got the bag right here. Like
do you have the free card? You get the burrito, the free burrito, the thing they send to people?
Yeah. So it's a year. So it's lovely. Trust me, it's lovely.
I gotta get one. What do I gotta do? I gotta.
I was talking to my agency to get that for me for so long, and they're just like, you just keep posting, every time we go, and I'm just like, all right, I go there every day, so people are really gonna see the same post and thinking I'm just posting it just because. I'm like, no, I eat there every day. If you want me to post my bowl every time, I'll do that. So people might think I just drive outside Chipotle, take a picture, and just drive off. I'm in there eating. I take it home. I eat it every day.
The other guy I know that's obsessed in the NBA world is Danny Ainge. Has that ever been brought to your attention that Danny Ainge is a big Chipotle guy? I think if you start doing the Chipotle thing more, you're gonna end up on the Celtics before you know it. Is what I'm telling you. So I don't know how you feel about that, but one way or another.
Can't say that. Come on, I'm in Phoenix, man. Can't say it to my
I know. That's what I'm telling you. Be careful. If you like Phoenix, Danny Ainge is like, ooh, that's a guy I could go to lunch with him every single day. I need to get him on my team. Yeah, I think he's a big Chipotle guy, but that's amazing. You got the burrito card. I gotta figure out a way to get my hands on him.
Yeah, we should say this is the first time that we've ever done a segment where people are going to say, "Oh my God, that was so sponsored," and there is no sponsorship here. We just all like Chipotle. We just love Chipotle.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to ask you is you won the Julius Erving Award. You brought it up earlier that Josh won the Julius Erving Award. Sadiq won the Julius Erving Award this year. It's only been around for like 6 years. Julius Erving is a Philadelphia legend, and half the time, 3 of the last 4 years, Villanova guys have won it. What's going on here? Is this like why does it keep going to a Philly guy? Does it mean does winning the Julius Erving Award mean a lot to you as a Philly guy? I don't know. My conspiracy stuff's going off here that like the Julius Erving family is saying like keep it in Philly if we can help it. But at the same time, you guys are all like really good players, so I don't know.
I mean,
how to feel about
if you
that.
want to put it to it, like they don't even count Nova. It's a Philly school. I mean, we outside, we out in the
That's true.
suburbs.
That's true.
Like, it's not like he's giving somebody a Temple or St. Joe or something like that. So.
Well, they suck. We've already established that. There's no one. I think they want to. It's like there's no one good enough to get that.
But nah, it just shows just all the work everybody puts in. I mean, just year by year and how Villanova develops. I mean,
what's it like playing for a coach that gives you the green light? Because like every college basketball coach, you watch all these games and guys are dribbling the ball up the floor and they're just staring at the bench like, can I dribble one more time, coach? Okay. Now where do I pass it? I pass it here. Okay. And Villanova is like the one team where Coach Wright's like, no, they'll figure it out. Like go out there. You all have the green light. Just move the ball, shoot threes, and we'll win. We'll beat everybody. Like, what's it like playing for a guy like that?
Just giving confidence in us. And the thing is, with him, offense probably is like the least thing he's concerned about because he knows he develops us and like with our coaching staffs and the managers and everybody, like we work out all the time. So he just knows what we're capable of and he makes practice tough. He's more focused on defense, rebounding, playing hard and everything. So like, if you're doing that, then he's gonna give you he's gonna give you green on the other end. So like you cannot be doing nothing on that other end and expect that you're gonna get the green light. So it's not gonna work like that. So it's just he doesn't really care too much offensively, just like as much as defensively, because defense wins games, wins championships. So he knows that we're all talented. He just goes, all right, put it together on the other end, and then y'all can play out there. So we're like, okay, bet. Let's get stops, and then we play our ball another end. So, like, it's just, I mean, it's just, just people got other schools where, like you said, they have to look, this and that. I'm grateful that I went to that school and had coaches like that.
There you have it. Well, lock it in. We appreciate you coming on, Mikal Bridges. Keep shining in Phoenix. We hope you don't get traded. We hope nothing that we said today makes you get traded or get in trouble. Villanova, a great school, a great institution, and we appreciate you coming on the program, man.
Thank you so much for joining us. Help me get a Chipotle burrito card. I want that so badly. I'm so jealous.
Hope they watch this. Hey, somebody watches this.
All right,
please, Chipotle.
Thanks, man. See you.
Appreciate you guys.
For the best access, perspective, and personalities in all of sports, follow us at Fox Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.